hello Negros Oriental, hello Sillimanians around the world. On behalf of my partner, Mr. Joshua Soldivillo, this is Miss Ronelyn Vailoces, and you are watching #Silliman. For Silliman updates, congratulations to our 7 newly registered psychometricians and a new psychologist who passed the February 2022 licensure examinations. The university also produced 3 master plumbers this month. Congratulations on making your parents and the university proud. For alumni update, Dr. Deli Pigo, an outstanding Sillimanian awardee, has been chosen as president-elect of the Hiraya Foundation for Filipino-American Heritage Preservation Incorporated. Dr. Go graduated from the university with a degree in Bachelor of Science in Nursing in 1978. Wow, congratulations to our alumni who are always making us proud to be a Sillimanian. Meanwhile, the second semester for the school year 2021 to 2022 academic scholarship for continuing senior high school students is now open for applications. Please take note that the deadline will be on March 31, 2022. That's all for now. See you next week for another set of #Silliman updates. Good evening, everyone. This is a magazine program that talks about the different matters about Silliman University. A magazine program initiated to discuss matters concerning the campus by the sea. Welcome, everyone, to #Silliman. For tonight's episode, we will be talking about the University Christian Life Emphasis Week, and we are graced by the presence of the Dean of the Divinity School and the Chairperson of the University's Spiritual Life Council. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Dean Jeaneth Faller.
Good evening, everyone.
We are also graced by the presence of the Minister for Students and Campus Chaplaincy, Reverend Wella De Rosas.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having us here.
Welcome, ma'am, to #Silliman. We will be talking about UCLEM. For those who doesn't know about UCLEM, can you please tell us what UCLEM is and why is it important for the life of the Sillimanians?
So it started actually as University Christian Life Emphasis Week, but we changed it to University Christian Life Emphasis Month. So it's very good because it's a 1 week, 1 month celebration. And it's very significant for me as Christian institution. It's very important to have this activity because this actually shows how we give importance to the spiritual life of the university. And at the same time, it is significant because the faculty, staff, and students are given the opportunity to come together, worship together, study the Bible together. So we have graduates, that who are not only mentally and physically prepared, but also spiritually prepared. So it's a really very important activity of the university, and it's very important to have this. And at the same time, for the nourishment, so we need nourishment. So the faculty, staff, and the students are given, they stop their work for a day or for a week.
Yeah.
For a day.
For a day, for a month.
For a day or for a month, they're given time to come together. And as I've said, really it's very important for us to study the Bible together. And we also get the opportunity to be with other students and with other faculty, the different departments and colleges, and also the staff.
And of course, whenever we are so busy, working, and the students are also studying, let's also give a time to for God, of course. I think we all experience here UCLEM. This is a bit personal question. Ma'am Wella, what is your most memorable UCLEM so far, or UCLU?
Yes, during my time, it was still UCLU. It's a celebration for a week. And then I think one experience that I can remember, and it's memorable for me, it's because we engage a lot. Since one of the facilitators during Galilean fellowships are divinity students, so I'm part of the program as well. So I think, yes, the Galilean fellowship, not not because we are one of the facilitators. At the same time, we connect with each other, with other colleges, and I've learned also that Galilean Fellowship is one of the important parts of the celebration of UCLEM. It started actually even during the missionary days. So during that time with the missionaries, they invited the students to come to their house and have early breakfast with them. So that's why the Galilean Fellowship is patterned with that kind of activity. They used to have Galilean early in the morning.
Yeah.
But since now the students are not morning persons, so we have our Galilean at the evening.
evening.
But still, we want to create that kind of environment, and we want them to feel that they are connected. So during the face-to-face Galilean, we used to host, especially here in the campus. But of course, it's different now because we are more into virtual technology. So is I think one of the challenges that we need to also cater and overcome. But we want to experience UCLEM the same as patterned
As before.
as before. Yes.
But before we talk about the challenges, no, I also as a student, when I was still a student, I also like the Galilean Fellowship. But before that, before we discuss about Galilean Fellowship and the different activities for the UCLEM, I'd like to ask, what is the theme for this semester's UCLEM? Dr. Faller?
The theme this year is resiliency amidst adversity.
Resiliency. Where did that come from, or what is the inspiration behind that theme?
Actually, we had a meeting, the committee, we had a meeting. With the help of the members of the committee, we decided to come up with this theme. And it's very relevant because of what's happening now in our pandemic, the Odette, and so many adversities that are happening around us. So it's nice to remind everyone that we have to be resilient in the midst of all these difficulties that we are facing. And the text that we have also chosen is very, very relevant because it talks about Paul and Silas when they were imprisoned, and they prayed to God, they sung hymns to God, telling us that in times like this, we can only depend on God, and God will answer us. Like this, we are really suffering now. We're really suffering, but you know, God is there. And we can call on God.
Yes, Dean. And resiliency requires strength, and you know, our strength really comes from Him. May I ask, Pastor Wella, what is resiliency for you? And this is a bit personal question since we have a conversation about it. Let's talk about resiliency. What's the time that you can recall that you can say that you were resilient, especially with the pandemic and the Typhoon Odette? Yes, Pastor Wella.
That's a good question. Well, Dr. Jeaneth is mentioning about the story behind why we come up with the theme, resiliency amidst adversity, mainly because of the experience of Odette, especially here in the Negros Oriental. And for me, I also feel with the theme because personally, I also experienced adversity, especially during the Odette, since my family in Bohol were also affected. It took me like a while for them to connect with them. So that word speaks not only in terms of our faith, but more on how we come together as a family, as a community, and resiliency in terms of overcoming our emotion, mental, spiritual crisis. I've always believed resiliency not in a passive way that we will always say that it will be okay, God is there, but more on giving and finding meaning of our experiences. There we can find being resilient in all the adversities that we experience. I want resiliency to feel and to also see that there is meaning out of this situation. I always believe Filipino peoples, we are resilient, as they said. But in terms of being passive. I don't think so. We became resilient because we know what's the meaning of this. We have faith, and it strengthened us to continue and push us to move on, despite especially the experience of Odette.
How about Dean? What is the most resilient? You can say that you were most resilient time in your life. There's a lot of retrospection going on. We have to recall the past, no? We would like to, take a piece of that experience from Dean Faller.
When we speak of resiliency, it's your ability to overcome any difficulties in life. And I went through a lot also, like, as a student, when I was a student, and then as a mother, and of course as a dean now. I went through a lot. So it's actually the strength that is from God in order to face any difficulties in life. So I don't have to mention them one by one, but I went through a lot of difficulties also, and I'm very thankful to God for that strength that God has given me in order to face all these difficulties. And so, as I've said, resiliency is actually your toughness to face any difficult time that before you.
And I think for us to be resilient, we also have to accept the fact that everything happens for a reason. And if we accept that fact, the strength is also coming from accepting whatever is happening and believing that there is a better tomorrow, better days are coming.
That is why, according to Pastor Wella, it does not mean that you have to be passive. You have to be actively facing the difficulties that are coming your way or that you are facing before you.
And the important thing there is you find meaning and purpose of life. I think that sustains our being resilient every day, because we still find meaning of everything that we're doing in work, in school, in the church, in our community. So that gives us the reason, or that drives us to move on and continue.
It's easy for us to say about finding meaning, finding the purpose, but it's
correct.
actually a struggle every day, with all the challenges that is happening around us. But I think we also have to think about the things, I mean that although there are bad things that are actually happening, there are also good things. The silver lining, according to Catriona Gray. So let's talk about UCLEM and the activities that we have for our students and faculty and staff. What are in store for us?
Yes, we have a lot of activities that we can look forward, especially very relevant activities and topics. That's the good thing about UCLEM. We always look at the situation, what are the things or the topics that needs to be deal with, especially with our students and faculty. For this UCLEM, since the election is coming, we also have this webinar to also be grounded with our present reality. Of course, with the basis also of our faith. Our webinar will be on the March 23rd, and the speaker will be our former commissioner, Rowena Guanzon, and it will be she will be partnered with Dr. Capulong on the part of the biblical theological reflection. That's one thing that we can look forward for this UCLEM. It will be officially launched on March 6th, that is Sunday, during the worship service at Silliman University Church. So the culmination will be on March 27. That will also be hosted by our student government. They will be the one who will gather the participants with the help of our students organization. And there's a lot more. Of course, the Galilean Fellowship is there, the convocations for each colleges and other the School of Basic Education. And one more thing, it's also part of the UCLEM where we extend our programs, not only for students but for faculty as well. And the good thing about this pandemic, we can invite those speakers even outside Dumaguete. So that's one of the advantages that we can take, that they can join us virtually. But of course, there's no replacement about face-to-face UCLEM. We hope that we will have face-to-face celebration of UCLEM soon. But for now, we make use of what we have. We make use of our technology. At the same time, the opportunity to connect with our alumni and our friends outside Dumaguete. So I'm always excited every UCLEM because there will be sets of speakers, new sets of speaker, new sets of the students, the topics also that we'll be discussing and we will be putting in every activity. So I hope our friends will also join us because some of our activities will be also live streamed in Facebook. So we would like to invite them to join us.
So those who are also not Sillimanians are welcome. You mentioned a while ago about the election and how are we going to tie it with the celebration of UCLEM. But before that, before we answer that, hashtag Silliman will be back after a short break. And now we're back. So I mentioned a while ago about the election and how are we going to ponder the things that we need to, bear in mind when we elect someone. How are we going to tie it with UCLEM celebration?
That's actually the reason why we invited Commissioner Rowena Guanzon to educate also our students and faculty and those who are attending. So that's the reason, because we want also to have an educated voters.
Yeah,
so
that's
I think
true.
it will be very big help if we have Commissioner Guanzon.
And I think it's also important for us to remember the Christian thinking, the teachings of Christ when we vote for someone who is worthy to be there, to be our leader. What else are the activities that we have for our students, faculty, and staff, and the rest of the Silliman community?
Oh yes, I've mentioned a while ago about the opening. It will be officially launched on March 6th, that is Sunday, and we are happy that we have our former President Dr. Ben Malayang III to be our speaker on that day. So it's special in a sense that we have lined up of good speakers during UCLEM, and we are proud that most of them are from our own community, our alumni. And in fact, when we talked with Commissioner Guanzon, I also mentioned to her that there will be a part where the biblical theological reflection will be also given during that topic, because we want to connect our faith tradition, our Christian tradition. At the same time, we want to be relevant to what is happening around us. And we are happy that also Commissioner Guanzon is one of our outstanding Sillimanian awardee. So we are happy to have her on this UCLEM celebration. And of course, the Galilean Fellowship, although we cannot host the students to come to the campus, but we will do it virtually via Zoom. And we expect to have more students to join us, particularly the different groups. Actually, the mobilization of our participants with the help of our Religious and Peace Studies department, with our NSTP department as well, and the SUSG. We always partner with our students, since this is not just an exclusive activities for the USLC or the church, but most especially we want to have a good partnership with our students in every activities that we're having.
So let me just make it clear. So when will the UCLEM officially start, and when will it end, since it's a month-long celebration?
It will start, as I've mentioned, March 6th, Sunday, and the culmination will be on March 27th. It's still Sunday at 5:30 p.m.
So I'd like to ask Dean, how different is UCLEM now? Like you mentioned this a while ago, but how is it different? Let's talk about the specific, the challenges that we will encounter. I guess we also had UCLEM in the past few months, and how is it different now?
Well, it's because what we are going to do now is virtual. We will do it virtually, and of course, we do not know if the students will really attend, but we're trying our best to really encourage our students to come. So that's one. Second is that there is also positive thing about virtual UCLEM,
it's
celebrating,
not all negative.
because we can also have participants. We can also have other participants who are not our students, that and then our alumni can also join. Unlike the previous UCLEM that we had, which was face to face, we cannot have the alumni to attend. But this time, we can invite our alumni, our friends outside the Philippines, to join us. Although, of course, it's very limited because it's done virtually. So we don't know of course, the attendance also, it will be affected. So, but on our part, we're really trying our best to really encourage them to attend. And so, as mentioned by Pastor Wella, we are not only encouraging our students, and we are not only working with the Religion and Peace Studies department, we are also working with NSTP and other organizations in order to help us to really invite students and our faculty and staff, of course, to join us in this activity.
Although this is mostly virtual, are there also instances that we will have a face-to-face setup, like the faculties can join, the faculty and staff can join a certain activity that we have? Are there any face-to-face?
Yes, that's a good reminder for me, Ma'am Ron, because on Sunday, that's part 6, the launching, we offer limited face-to-face worship in Silliman. So those who would like to join us, especially our administrators, our faculties, they can join us on Sunday live. Because I've talked with our speaker on that day, Dr. Ben Malayang. He wanted to preach live in the church. So that's a good start also this year, that we can invite, although limited, but at least they can join us live. For now, the church is allowed to have 50 participants, excluding the leaders. But we hope to increase the attendance because we are already in the level 2. So I hope the COVID crisis committee can also consider that we can also increase the number. We would love to have more participants during Sunday worship. And one more thing I would like to raise also, in this UCLEM celebration, because we also partnered with our alumni and even our partner churches outside Philippines. So just recently, I've mentioned this with our chairperson of the USLC, that there is this church, the Amistad Chapel. They're based in Cleveland, Ohio, who wanted to partner with us. Actually, we have this monthly fellowship with them, with the Silliman Church. But then because of the Odette, they wanted to take part also with how they can help the students. So they offer this solidarity and healing service for our students. So it will be live via Facebook as well. They will be the one who will host. We will just do participates with our students. It's a good partnership with those friends and alumni who are in the US. So they are happy to be part of that celebration. And I hope it will also help not only the students, but even the greater community who can join us through Zoom or through the live streaming.
Yeah, so we are going internationally for this UCLEM, this semester's UCLEM. I would also like to ask about the Galilean Fellowship, because we had a limited face-to-face setup for UCLEM celebration, and the Galilean Fellowship is really a special event. I mean, when I was a student, I was looking forward to it because I'm going to visit the houses of my teachers and I'm going to spend time with my classmates. How is it different now?
Oh, it's totally different because we were doing it live virtually. And then the participation is also limited in terms, especially this sem, we are catering the graduating students. And we are now on our preparation of this. We have facilitators, of course. We have volunteers who will help us in the facilitation of the Galilean Fellowship. It's more on like breakout rooms where they can still have the sharing time. But I hope this time more students could join us, because I know the graduating students are having difficulties in terms also of internet connection. So that sometimes discourage our participants. But then we look forward that we can still give them the venue to share and to express, and also to be part of that community. So as much as we want to offer them the same environment and the same ambience and experience of Galilean, but because we have limitation this time. So we are looking forward to have face-to-face Galilean soon.
Before we end this episode, we have this segment in hashtag Silliman. It's hashtag WTP, Words to Ponder. What do you think, or what are the words or word to ponder that you can share to our audience for in relation to this UCLEM? Let's have Dean Faller.
Be resilient no matter what.
No matter what.
There are many adversities that are going to happen, but just be resilient, be faithful to God, like like Paul and Silas. They prayed, they sang hymns, and they trusted God that they can overcome whatever the adversity that will come their way.
And it's a mind over matter.
Yes.
If we think about something, we can actually do it, and we must bank on that strength coming from Him.
God,
How about Pastor Wella?
Well, I'd like to believe that we Filipinos, as they said, we are resilient people. I would like to celebrate that attitude of being resilient. And of course, grounded with our faith, that resilience should always be grounded with our faith and finding meaning of everything that we are doing. Because at the end of the day, being resilient is not only for our own selves. We became resilient because there are many people. We love our families. There are many people who depend on us. That's why we became resilient. Sometimes it pushed us to be resilient. So I guess resiliency in terms of our faith and our love for others.
Yeah. And for me, for my words to ponder, more than being resilient, it is also important for us to actually find strength in whatever we do. At the same time, make those people who are accountable be accountable of the things they should be accountable of, criticize, scrutinize, and take action. We should not be just passive. We must be proactive, at the same time reactive with all the things that is happening around us. It is important for us to not be apathetic, to participate with the civic causes, and to actually also reach out and extend a helping hand to others. I think a resiliency has something to do with us also uniting as a community and as Christians. So I think we enjoyed the conversation that we had, and I think that you are also excited for this semester's UCLEM. Thank you very much, Dean Faller and Pastor Wella, for being here with us today. That would be all for tonight. See you next week here on #Silliman. And we are now in the last portion of #Silliman. I hope you enjoyed the conversation we had with Pastor Wella and Dean Faller. You can watch us at Field Products every Monday at 8 p.m. and replays will be shown every Friday at 8 p.m. also and Saturday at 2 p.m. Please also don't forget to like, comment, and share and follow our Facebook and YouTube accounts. See you next week here on #Silliman. Bye!